Good evening, Book 2. This is Johnny. And I thought I'd make a video since it's a quiet night here. It is August the 8th, 2017. It is 9:02 at night here in West Michigan by Lake Michigan. It is 79 degrees. It was a nice sunny day. You can already see the leaves falling from the trees, and night is coming sooner. Days are getting shorter. So first of all, I'm just going to mention what I read today. I read basically today this Reformation Commentary on Scripture, 1 Corinthians, edited by Scott N. Matchich. This is in the Reformation Commentary. This is on 1 Corinthians. I found out looking at InterVarsity, who publishes this, InterVarsity Academic, they're coming out with Hebrews and James next in November, and I keep going to Amazon trying to pre-order it because they go for, these commentaries go for about $50 to $60. Pretty expensive. I got in the mail today my new annotated Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Really a cool book. I've been wanting to read Frankenstein since I can remember. One of my favorite films, well, I mentioned Young Frankenstein, and Mel Brooks is one of my favorite films, but I also like the old Boris Karloff black and white original Frankenstein. But anyway, I'm sure that's not like the novel. But anyway, this is the new annotated Frankenstein. Mary Shelley, edited with foreword and notes by Leslie S. Klinger. I'm thinking about getting the H.L. Lovecraft annotated, maybe next month. But it's really nice. It has, all kinds of illustrations in it, and I look forward to getting into it someday. So I got that in the mail today. I did go to thrift stores this morning. I had to go get some bird seed for our birds, sunflower seeds and cracked corn. And I stopped at a thrift store there we live in Holland, but then there's Zeeland. But I also went out because I saw a Kurt Vonnegut Jr. book I did not have in my Kurt Vonnegut Jr. collection. Now, I mentioned that I got this one the other day, which was not in our Kurt Vonnegut Jr. collection, Wampeters. That's a nice little photo of him, Kurt Vonnegut. This is Wampeters, Foma, and Grandfallons opinions. These are kind of like odds and ends. Like he has an essay on science fiction. Last night I read the one on why was it? It was I read the one addressed at rededication of the Wheaton College Library in 1973, and I read the one on, he wrote, I was reading the one, Yes, We Have No Nirvanas, which he talks about transcendental meditation. So I was reading this last night before I went to bed, but as I was in library thing looking at what my Kurt Vonnegut collection, I didn't have the Sirens of Titan, which I saw at a thrift store when I saw this one. So I went and it was still there. It's kind of beat up, but it has all the pages, and so that's all I really care about. This was his second novel. His first novel was The Piano Player, which I picked up at the thrift store. This was first published in 1952, and this was published in first, I don't know when it was first published. I know it's 1959. Anyway, he won some kind of award for best science fiction. So as I was looking at Kurt Vonnegut, I said, well, I might as well just show you my Kurt Vonnegut collection. I've been collecting Kurt Vonnegut for as long as I can remember. The one he's most famous for is his Breakfast of Champions, which I have 2 copies of. The Breakfast of Champions. He's also known for his famous novel Slaughterhouse-Five, about, like it says here, Billy Pilgrim has become unstuck in time. He walks through a door in 1955 and comes out another in 1941. He crashes in the plane in 1968 and ends up displayed in a zoo on the planet Trans-Amordor, making love to a beautiful Earth porno star Montana Windhack. He is in the cellar of a slaughterhouse when Dresden is bombed to ashes, and Kurt Vonnegut's most powerful novel, Billy Pilgrim, is teaching us a lesson about our world, ourselves, that none of us can or ever forget. So yeah, so then I have those. And after the Sirens of Titan was 1959, let me look here. He published The Mother Night. Let's see if I can find Mother Night here. Then he published Mother Night. This is Kurt Vonnegut's Mother Night, which was published, it says here, 1961. Mother Night, this is quoting Harper's Magazine in the back. Mother Night is a short, intensely charged book on artful, zestful cartoon that lets us see despair without forcing us to surrender it. One of the author's early works, Mother Night, centers around the war crime confessions of an American agent, Howard W. Campbell Jr. is an American by birth, a Nazi by reputation, a former U.S. counterintelligence agent. In fact, he finds himself in Israel writing his confessions and awaiting trial for his war crimes in the cell next to Adolf Eichmann. Kurt Vonnegut is one of the acknowledged masters of contemporary American literature. So then after Mother Night, we have Cat's Cradle. This is Cat's Cradle. Mine's really an old copy. I've had these for years. This one came out in 1963. Among the 12 episodes in Cat's Cradle, vice president in charge of volcanoes when automobiles had Cutlass Voss's Barracuda, capital of the world, self-supporting squirrel cage, Bell, Book, and Chicken and Hat Box, the Iron Maiden, and the Obelette, when I felt a bullet enter my heart. I suppose these are like little fragments. Kind of interesting. There's a picture here of Kurt Vonnegut without his beard and short hair. This is really old. This edition, I think, came out in 1963. So after Cat Cradle, God Bless You, Mrs. God Bless You, Mrs. Rosewater. Where is that one? Oh, this is it. This came out in 1965. God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater. Elliot Rosewater, drunk volunteer fireman and president of the fabulously rich Rosewater Foundation, is the hero of this darkly humored comic masterpiece. So then it goes on here. This one came out in 1965. And then you have Breakfast of Champions, which I've shown. The Breakfast of Champions came out. Nope. You have Slaughterhouse-Five. Oh, we showed Slaughterhouse-Five, didn't we? Wait a minute. Okay, we had God Bless You, Slaughterhouse-Five, We just showed that. And then The Breakfast of Champions came out in 1973. Breakfast of Champions is a vintage Vonnegut Vonnegut, one of his favorite characters, aging writer Kilgore Trout, finds to his heart that a Midwest car dealer is taking his fiction as truth. The result is a murderously funny satire as Vonnegut looks at war, sex, racism, success, politics, and pollution in America, and reminds us how to see the truth. And then comes Slapstick, which came out in 1976. I don't know. This came out, Slapstick or Lonesome No More by Vonnegut. And then come Jailbird. Let me see, find Jailbird. See, I can find Jailbird. I know it's here. Can't find Jailbird. Oh, here it is. This is Jailbird. Oh, there's another photo of Vonnegut on the back here. It's kind of a long photo of him. I wonder if he ever died. He lived to be in his 80s. Jailbird. I don't know what it's about. It's been a long time. This is Jailbird, a novel. And then after Jailbird came Deadeye Dick. This is Deadeye Dick. Deadeye Dick is Vonnegut's funny, chillingly satirical look at the death of innocency amid a true Vonnegutian host of horrors, a double murder, a fatal dose of radioactivity, a decapitation, annihilation of a city by neutron bomb. Rudy Waltz, aka Deadeye Dick, takes us along on a zany search for absolution and happiness. Here's a taste of crime and punishment that makes us rethink what we believe and what we say we are. And then we have, in 1985, Galápagos, where life is just a state of mind. Kurt Vonnegut takes you back 1 million years to AD 1986 in the beginnings of the human race. And then after Galápagos is Bluebird. Did I show? Yeah, this is Bluebird. Bluebeard. Bluebeard. At 71, Rabo Carbinkian no longer paints. He wants only to be left alone. But now, Circa Berman, a young widow, has invaded his Long Island estate, bullied him into writing his autobiography, and is trying to discover the secret locked in his barn. Bluebeard's wives once had a similar goal. What can the secret be? And then after Bluebeard's is Hocus Pocus. This is Hocus Pocus. There's another picture of Kurt Vonnegut on the back here. I don't know what this is about. Hocus Pocus. I can't remember what it's about, but that's Hocus Pocus. And then you have Timequake, came out in 1997. Kurt Vonnegut caps his mind-bending career of unconventional attitudes in fiction and lectures with this new book. While written in a straightforward English, Timequake is a literary form such as the world has never seen before. It has to be. The three protagonists are the author, the unappreciated, the long-out-of-print science fiction writer, Kilgore Trout, who is the author's second self in a seriously dysfunctional universe. On February the 13th, 2001, according to Vonnegut, the universe will tire momentarily of expanding forever. What's the point? Maybe it would be more fun to shrink for a change and have a reunion of all this stuff back where it began. Then it would make a great big bang again. And it goes on here. So there's a picture of Vonnegut with his brother in 1976. And then there's, after Timequake, I don't know, there are different books that I have. He did Between Time and Timbuktu, Polysemous-5, a space fantasy. I don't see it on my list here. Yeah, this came out in 1972. This is another fiction. It's a bunch of, it's kind of different. It has these photos in it. It's kind of a strange kind of thing. And then he, I don't know if I mentioned this, he has Happy Birthday, Wanda June, which is like a play. And then you have Bagombo Snuff Box, uncollected short fiction with an induction by the author by Kurt Vonnegut. And then we have in 1968, Welcome to the Monkey House, a collection of short works. So those are the writings. And then I have this book. This is like a memoir of one of his girlfriends, Love as Always, Kurt Vonnegut as I Knew Him, by Laurie Rankshaw. And this is a literary study on Vonnegut. It's called Vonnegut in America, Introduction to the Life and Work of Kurt Vonnegut, original essays edited by Jerome Klintzowitz and Donald A. Lawler. And these are, this is another, this is kind of like, this is called Palm Sunday, an autobiographical collage by Kurt Vonnegut. It's kind of like an autobiography about his life. And then towards the end of his life, in the 80s, when he's running his 80s, he wrote this book, A Man Without a Country, which is like essays. And these are collected writings that his son, Mark Vonnegut, put out on his different, on war. I think it's on a fitting tribute to a literary legend, profoundly humane humorous Armageddon, in retrospect, is a post-humorous collection of previously unpublished writings on war and peace. There's an older picture of Vonnegut in the back. And then lastly, in our Vonnegut collection is a biography. And so it goes, Kurt Vonnegut, A Life by Charles J. Shields. So that is our Kurt Vonnegut collection. I'm always looking for Kurt Vonnegut books. I have most of them, looking for biographies, literary studies, memoirs, anything on Kurt Vonnegut. So I thought I'd show those tonight. Now it's 9:20. I can put these back in on my Kurt Vonnegut shelf, and tell me if you've read Kurt Vonnegut, what's your favorite novel by him, why you appreciate him, if you've read any his autobiographical stuff or biographical stuff. So like I said, tonight I've been reading the 1 Corinthians Reformation Commentary and looking at my annotated Frankenstein. Tomorrow is a Wednesday. Like I said, Friday, my wife and I, we go to a big giant book sale in South Haven. Maybe I'll find some stuff that will just blow my mind. So anyway, until next time, thank you for watching this and have a good week. Bye.